Hey, this is Chad Dalton and Shay from Coyote Classics, and today we're checking out a 1957 Plymouth Belvedere. All right, just a really neat car, and we had to bring Shay along on this one. He's kind of a resident expert on these cars.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of these 57 to 60 Plymouths. They just look unlike anything else that the automotive market ever put out at the time.
Yeah, they're neat with the big fins and...
Super cool. I'm more of a GTO Chevelle guy, Shay, but
Shay was pretty damn excited when we got this one in. What'd you say you had a model of it in your room? And
yeah, I have a model of a 58 Fury two-door coupe, and it's in beige and gold, which is how they came from the factory. But I've got a whole shrine to basically like the 57, 58 Plymouth models and everything.
How many times have you watched the Christine movie? Quite a few times? Or
yeah.
You must have to have a shrine.
I will say that I liked this car before I even knew what Christine was. So
that's awesome. And this one's been nicknamed Clarence, Christine's
Clarence.
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 I go back to grade school. All right.
Yeah, we hadn't fired this up since when? Friday?
Yeah.
It's Monday, so cold start, pump it twice, fired right up.
Man, this rear end on this thing is really neat. I haven't even really looked at it that close, but that's awesome.
High fins, beautiful taillights. Yeah, the more I look at it, the more I like it as well. Just a gorgeous car, bias ply tires. Now, Shay, you said this was the middle version engine, the 301?
Yes, this was the middle version engine. The top of the line was the 318, but basically the only thing you got in the 318 was a longer stroke.
Okay.
So yeah, same block. Yeah.
Did you happen to decode this? What color this came from the factory at all?
I was not able to get a decode on this one. They didn't really have, this is an older car, so they didn't really have the factory colors or anything on that. So yeah, I just know exactly what the block is, and yeah.
Nice looking firewall, the heater box and everything, you know, you could tell was all taken apart and detailed. Very nice mechanical. I mean, when we got this in, it's an excellent mechanical condition. It's got power steering, a battery hold down, new battery ends. I mean, just ready to jump in and enjoy. Probably my favorite part of the car is right here. And Shay will talk to us a little bit about the headlights, but as far as the front grille and then the 4 chrome pieces that come down below is really cool as well.
Tell us about them headlights, Shay. What was unique with these, like being the 57?
So in 57, across the country, dual headlights were not allowed yet. So regulations were still being taken effect. So Plymouth couldn't put another headlight right here like the visionary designer Virgil Exner wanted. So he decided to be sneaky and put the parking lamps next to the regular headlights to give it kind of that dual headlight look. And it's not a dual headlight design that didn't come until 1958.
Pretty neat. And Fords went with that. You know, your 57 Fords had the single Chevys, everything. So 58 was really kind of a change in the year for body style. And it all started with the headlights.
Yeah.
You know, they fattened the fender up when they did the dual headlights and everything to account for that.
Right, and like I said before, these things looked nothing like anything else at the time, and when Plymouth decided to do this kind of a dual headlight design, the rest of the industry followed suit. Legend has it that GM styling designer Harley Earl walked into the Chevrolet design office, threw a 1957 Plymouth catalog on the chief designer's desk and said, "Why don't you quit?"
No kidding.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome. That's pretty cool information, Shay. As we go around it, as far as the paint job on it is older. Tim buffed it. It's got a really good shine, but it's got some little marks and stuff like that. It's probably I'm guessing it's probably a single stage paint done 20, 30 years ago, if I had to guess.
I think that's what the previous owner told me when we traded for this thing. It was about 20-year-old paint.
Okay, great. How long did he have it, Dalton? Do you know?
I can't recall off the top of my head, but he had a pretty nice collection of cars, and he was sad to see this one go. His son took it to prom. They really loved it and enjoyed the hell out of it.
Well, you can tell they made it mechanically just a turnkey car. A very nice side trim on this Belvedere as well. As we go down here, the bottom of the fender, rocker panel is in great shape. Bottom of the door is nice. Nice gaps from side to side here on the back of the hood. As far as the roof goes, I mean, it's got some little solvent pop and some little stuff here in the roof. Again, paint's not perfect, but a nice turnkey cruise night car driver. And really, as rare as this is, take it to any local car show and people are just gonna come up to it. We were coming home with this on the trailer and people were stopping all the time just to look at it, so pretty cool. Couple tiny little bubbles right here, 2 or 3 little small ones. Couple chips. As we open up the doors, you can see it was repainted, and these are the original rubber still. I don't think it's, you can just tell how hard they are, and they got some overspray on them. So it was repainted before, even in the jams, and they got some overspray. As far as the door panels, seats, everything was recovered, and it's gorgeous. Headliner's very nice. Top of the back shelf is nice.
And the previous owner told me too that he was told and he believed that his original model car too, which I think is 50,000, 60,000.
It's possible. I mean, the rubbers are definitely original.
Yeah.
Corners of the doors are good. If you go to our website also, coyoteclassics.com, you're going to see about 15 to 20 photographs of the undercarriage and inside the trunk. All very solid floors and stuff as well. Dash is gorgeous, 60,779 miles on the odometer. And just look how nice the dash is. It's got the padded dash over on the passenger side. They did go ahead and still has the original AM radio in there, but it's got an aftermarket CD player. Dome light works as well. Not sure about the horn. No, there it goes. All the door panels are good. We'll come back to the interior, what works and what don't work on a little test drive here in a minute. Dual exhaust, I like how that comes out as well. Yeah, those big fins, I think you got a little bit of that, but gorgeous fins, really nice paint on the back here, nice trim, original bumpers. Nice gaps. The bumpers have quite a few scratches and little chips and stuff like that in them. They're definitely the original bumpers still.
Cool part of these big fins is that Virgil Exner really didn't like calling them fins. He wanted to call them vertical stabilizers, and he really believed that there were functionality to fins and that they were supposed to stabilize the car at speeds over 80 miles an hour.
He thought this big boat would do 80?
Oh, yeah. Especially with the 318, the Fury version, was one of the very first Detroit muscle cars, even if it really didn't look like it.
Really?
Yeah,
Man,
those were
cool.
equipped with the 318
So he thought
dual
these
quad
stabilizers, not wings, would just make sure that the car stayed down, kind of like the supercars do today with the high spoilers.
Because the intent was so that when coming over would pass between the two fins, thereby making the car a little bit more stable.
That's cool. Mm-hmm. It's a good idea. I don't know if it's right or not, but who am I to ask, right?
Yeah. Might just be a little bit of marketing.
Couple little bubbles right there as well. As far as our door fitment, really nice. And all the doors shut great on it too. Bottom of the door lines up really nice to the quarter dog leg here. You can see it's factory seam line there. Same thing if the doors line up, rockers line up. I mean, if you're expecting a 20 to 30-year-old paint job that still looks really good, there's no disappointments in this little Belvedere. It's a great car. I love that angle right there of the interior. Gorgeous steering wheel. Even the paint here on the top of the doors and stuff are nice. The paint in the door jams, you can see, I don't know why we didn't get all that off, but you almost have to scrape a little bit of that. That old grime off there. Again, love the dash pad.
Unmistakably 50s is what that is.
How those doors shut.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just excellent. Nice gap all the way here from top to bottom. Little crack here in the paint. So as we step back, and there's a spot here too, some touch-up paint, stuff like that, a little area there. But as you step back 5-10 feet, it looks like a show car. You get right on top of it and you tell it's older paint. But
for sure.
Great car. Let's take it for a spin, see how she drives.
All right, we're all packed in here. We're going on a little family road trip, it feels like.
It's super comfortable. We just kind of mentioned when me and Shay got in here, it's super comfortable. The windows go up and down, super smooth in it too. Listen to that. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind that it's a 60,000 mile car. The way the doors shut, the windows go up and down, just one finger. Horn works, gas gauge works. Temperature gauge looks like it's coming up. Amp gauge has been replaced, but it's working. Check this out.
Original AM.
Original AM radio still works. Rear view mirror right here. That's pretty cool. Mm-hmm. Is that factory spot too?
Yes, those were dash mounted.
That's very nice. And you said the forward facing mirrors are on it, which is kind of a neat option.
Yeah, kept to the forward look design that Exner was going for.
Heater works. What a car. I can't believe it, man. It's a great car. Wipers work perfect.
It's got the push button automatic shifter, which is neat.
Right, and this was one of the very first times that the push button automatic was used in a production car. Chad mentioned Edsel, but Edsel didn't debut until a year after Plymouth. So they debuted in 1958, this is 1957.
Nice.
So very cool.
Dash lights work good too. Looks like they're all coming on. All right, all the gauges work, gas gauge, temp gauge is coming up, amp gauge. As far as our oil, it does not have an oil pressure gauge, that's an actual factory light. Speedometer works perfectly. What a car. What a time capsule.
I'm just geeking back here. I love these 57 to 61 Plymouths. If I could have any classic car, one in any Plymouth in one of those years would be it. I love these cars.
Have you been having dreams about this car since
I have been, of driving it, yeah.
Pretty sweet.
Just a real treat to be able to sit in it.
Yeah,
So
it's
yeah.
cool.
It is super comfortable.
Oh yeah.
I kind of like the fact that it does have the four-door too. It just seems more like, you seem like you're back in the 50s again, Jensen's or something.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, a lot of people want to take their friends and stuff with them when they go out for cruise nights and stuff like that, and it's a lot easier getting in a four-door, especially when you get to be that 60, 70, 80 years old. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Then try to have your buddy push the seat ahead and try to squeeze in there. So four-doors, there's nothing wrong with four-doors in the 50s generation. Steering is absolutely perfect, does not need alignment. The brake stop nice and straight there. Nice and quiet inside.
It just floats. Chrysler also put forward the use of a torsion bar front suspension. So instead of using regular like coil springs, it used a suspension that previously had only been used on tanks, where it would use like torsion bars that would flex the front frame. And Motor Trend actually named the 57 Plymouth to be the best handling American car in 57. So kind of cool.
Really?
I think it has to do something with the wings. Can you feel it?
Yeah, I can feel
We're doing about
those stabilizers.
You know, I said I didn't think this thing would go 60. Are you scared a little bit, Dalt, to try it? I said 80.
That there might be a scotch of ice on the road. I'm a little nervous.
We're doing pushing 70, and those wings are starting to float us down right now. I feel the front end going down.
To the road.
Stabilizers.
That's awesome.
It does. It drives perfect. 70 mile an hour. The stabilizers are definitely taking the air across and pushing her down.
You can tell.
See it back there.
Oh yeah.
Stabilizing us.
Extremely noticeable.
It was cool, man.
All right, awesome car. You guys can be the next one driving Clarice, not
Clarence,
Clarence.
not Clarence.
Okay. Check it out on the site, coyoteclassics.com. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.